Hi, welcome to Buntingford. I'm Mike. We'll be going through your home demo today. So this is your electrical consumer unit box. This is just inside the front door on the left hand side in the utilities cupboard. This box controls all your electrics in the house. If we lift the front cover up, you'll be able to see all the breakers inside. These are devices that are there for safety. The left hand side one is the main switch. If that's down, then the whole house will be turned off. But as it is at the moment, it's turned up and all the breakers are up. So we've got full electricity to the whole house. These individual breakers manage each different area of the house. For instance, this one here is the upstairs lighting. If you came to the box and it was down, there'd be an issue on that circuit itself. So first of all you do is just push that up, and 9 times out of 10 it will go up. And then you go upstairs and find out to the lighting is normally a blown light bulb, and you can replace it that way. If it's an issue with a socket, for instance in the kitchen, then again, you come try and reset it. If it won't reset, then you go to the kitchen, unplug your appliances, and then come back and push it back up. Normally it will reset that way. If it doesn't, then you can obviously go back to your customer care team and advise them accordingly. You can then, however, if it does go back up, go back into the kitchen, plug back in the individual appliances, and then come back in one by one and make sure it doesn't trip out again. If it does trip out, it's the fault on that individual appliance. Also in your utilities cupboard is your master telephone point. This is where BT will come and connect it for you once you arrange accordingly. So here we are in the kitchen, and we're going to look at the boiler, which is the main source of heating and hot water in your property. So in the cupboard here, if you open the front door, we've got the white boiler here in front of us. Now at the moment you can see it's on because there is a display here. Something to check if there's no display is the power supply to the boiler, which is just located just beneath it. Make sure that's obviously turned on, and also that the breaker inside the consumer unit that we also looked at earlier is also turned on. So providing that's on, then obviously we should have heat and hot water. But for some instance, if there was a fault flashing up on front of it, then you'd have no heat and hot water, then you can report that code back to your customer care team, or you can look at the manual of the boiler and just try and work out what the issue is. One thing to check if there is a problem with your heating and hot water is the pressure in the boiler. And that's displayed in this pressure gauge here. What we're looking for is between 1 and 1.5 bar of pressure in the boiler, which is identified by this black line to that point. If it's below that, you'll have no heating. But it's very easy to do, and something you as a homeowner can do yourself. So just below the boiler is 2 blue valves, and at the moment they're going against the line of the pipework. So if you turn one of them on so that's in line with the pipework, and then the second one turn it on in line with the pipework as well slowly, you may hear a gush of water. That's nothing to be afraid of, and you'll probably see that the pressure gauge will slowly go up. Once it gets to between 1 and 1.5, turn the first one off and then turn the second one off. Make sure you turn both valves off and make sure that pressure gauge stops going up. And then hopefully you'll have heating back again. If not, if you press the reset button, that may also bring it on. If it doesn't still come on, then again, give your customer care team a call. You should be expected to probably repressurize the system itself, probably once a year, maybe twice a year. When you first move in, maybe a little bit more common, but after that, anything more than that, then there isn't another fault on the system that you need to report. So here we are in the lounge, and it's your first and main point of call for your heating control, which is through your room stat here. At the moment, you can see it's off from there. If you lift the front up, this controls the whole of the house heating. And just to get quick heating, you press auto, which turns it on. And then on the right hand side here is the temperature that it's currently at. And you use these 2 points here to turn it up, and you'll see a flame come on. That basically means it engaged the boiler, and I can hear the boiler has just come on itself, and that will provide you heat. And that will go up as high as you want, and you can set it at that temperature, and then it will go back to the background temperature, which will tell you how cold or hot it is in the house at the moment. So we set it at 21 degrees, but currently it's reading 16 degrees. This has other formats of a programming system where you can program it to come on twice a day, 7 days a week. And that's done through the bottom here, and you can find that information out through your user's guide. Each radiator and tower around the house has 2 different types of valves on it. This type of valve is called a lock shield valve, and you shouldn't have to touch that at all. And this valve is called a TRV, and that gives you more control over the radiator and the heat output that it gives. There's 5 different structures on there, and you can turn it down as far as low as 1 or 0, or as high as 5. Also on each radiator is what they call a bleed vent. Now for some reason, if your radiators weren't fully hot up to the top, you could try and test this yourself, but you'd need either a tissue or a little pot just to catch the water in. And you've got a bleed key that comes with the house that goes inside there, and you turn it anti-clockwise whilst having a towel or tub underneath it, and you should hear a little hiss of some air in there. If there's water straight away, then quickly turn it back clockwise to turn it off. If there is air, when you turn it anti-clockwise, wait till the air stops and the water comes through, just a small amount, and then turn it back clockwise. This, however, will reduce the pressure inside the boiler, and you will have to go back down to the boiler and check the pressure itself. This should only need to be done probably once a year again, and it is more of a maintenance thing, something you need to keep in mind. In the room where the room stat is, however, we will only have 2 lock shields on each of the radiators, so you'll have no TRV. This is normal and you shouldn't have anything to worry about. In some kitchens where there's not enough room for a radiator, you'll have what we call a kick space heater. This is located underneath the oven and looks like this. There's 2 different programs for it. The smaller program, which gives you out a fine heat, as you can hear the fan is kicking on. Or to boost it for a more intense heat, you push it to the 2 bars. If for some reason your kitchen's not very warm, it's always best to check to make sure this is on. Also in your kitchen is your carbon monoxide alarm and your heat alarm. These both need testing about once a week, and you quite easily do that by pressing the test button, and it will make the alarm noise. And the same with the heat, the test button. Also in your house will be the individual smoke alarms. You'll find them in the landing and in the hallway, and they look very similar to the other ones. They also need testing weekly, and you do that by pressing the test button. All the alarms that we've shown you are fed off the mains electricity, so there shouldn't be any reason to change the batteries. Any further problems, then please refer to your manual. So in the kitchen you've got 2 forms of extract. The extract fan above the hob, which obviously has a light, and then has 3 different settings. As you can hear, it's working. If for some reason that's not extracting enough for you, you've also got an added extract up the top here, which is this white box. Now I'm just going to turn that on so you can hear it, and then we're going to go upstairs to the bathroom and I'm going to show you how it works. So we've already seen the white box extract fan in the kitchen. You've also got the same in the cloakroom and in your bathroom. All white boxes all have vent axion. These are your ventilation points. And the switching for it is usually in the same area. So we have a switch up the top which gives you power to the box itself. That obviously has to be pushed down to give it power, but it won't necessarily come on with that down. For the bathroom and the kitchen, you have a separate switch. And by turning that on, we'll then obviously turn the box on itself. As you may hear, it has just come on. The reason for this, for instance in the bathroom, is in the middle of the night you can get up and go to the bathroom and just turn the light on and go in and use it without turning the extract on. That has a separate switch for you. That is different to the cloakroom. The cloakroom only has 1 switch, and when you go on, you turn that on, and providing this isolation point is turned on, the extract fan will come on. If for some reason you didn't want it on, then you simply just turn it off at the top there, and as you may hear now, it stopped running. At the top of your landing is your loft hatch. Currently the loft isn't boarded out and it's unsafe for you to go up there and store things, so please do not go up there. It is merely there for maintenance purposes only and not for yourselves. We're back in the kitchen, and today we're going to talk about isolating your water mains. And that would only need to be happening if you had a leak, and for that instance you have 2 points. Underneath the kitchen sink is your main isolation here, and there's also another isolation for your washing machine. If there ever was an issue with just the washing machine, then obviously you'd isolate that, and currently it is shown as isolated. So you put it against the line of the pipework. Now with water leaks, you've got 2 options. Usually there's an uncontrollable water leak where water is coming out with force and pressure and spraying everywhere. That obviously is a bit concerning, and you need to come underneath the kitchen sink and turn the isolation all the way clockwise until it stops. And then at that point, if you also open the kitchen sink tap, it will drain the water out of the house and the leak should stop, and then you can phone it through. The other leak is one that's not quite as damaging and not coming out as fast. Usually a drip, and usually only when you use it. And you'd normally see that from, for instance, white pipework like this, which is your waste pipework. If that's the case, then stop using it for a while, put a bucket underneath it so it catches it, and you should still be able to have your water left on so you can also have drinking water and go to the bathroom, but at the same time also phone it through. And we're in the day and age now where everybody's got a smartphone, so if you can take any videos or photos and send them through with it at the same time, it'll help the team diagnose it before they get there. In the lounge is your main TV point, and you also have a data point here which is also back to the utility cupboard. This will be obviously a position for your TV and Sky if you require. All your windows and doors within the house have individual locks on them, and when the key is in line with it, it's locked. So all you have to do is just twist it. You have to pull the key out to open it, push the button in, twist and open. As simple as that. Also on the windows, you have what they call trickle vents, and these are also on the doors as well. These are for natural ventilation that the house needs, and they need to be left open. If you do close them up, you'll also get condensation around the windows, and that will cause damage to the house, and it's not advisable. The doors are very simple as well. Currently this door is locked, so all you do is just turn the key anti-clockwise and then open. Very simple. To lock it, however, you pull the door back so it's fully closed, lift the handle up and then turn it back clockwise, and then just make sure, gently firm pressure on the handle to make sure it won't go down. This formulates this locked. The inside of the front door is slightly different. There's no key, but again the same principle. So currently the door is locked. So you twist it anti-clockwise, handle down and it opens. To lock it, the same mechanism backwards. Push it till the door is fully closed, lift the handle up, twist it clockwise, a little bit of pressure to make sure the handle won't go down, and that formulates that the door is locked. Simple as that. With each property you get one off-road car parking space, and adjacent to that on the building you'll also find your electric car charging point, which you simply just have to plug your lead in and into your car and turn it on, and it should charge accordingly to your manufacturer's requirements. Outside your front door are two white boxes, and each one of these is your electric meter and your gas meter. This one here is your electric meter. Inside it you'll be able to find your meter reading and provide it to your electric supplier. Apart from that, there should be no other reason why you need to go in this box. This is your gas meter box, and again this is your gas meter. You can also find your meter reading here and provide it to your gas supplier. Also outside the front door is your water meter box as well, and you can also find that meter reading in there and again provide it to your supplier.